welcome to a happy book birthday today. We have Wendy with us. Welcome, Wendy. It's so great to see you.
Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so glad to be here and to share the story behind my story, Saving Hollow Woods, which is something that I released in August this year.
Tell me more about it. Where did you get the idea for it?
So Saving Hollow Woods comes from the love of Harry Potter, Narnia, and Eden Blyton's The Faraway Tree. So I've
all of my favourite books.
So I've always liked fantasy, I suppose, and what it has to offer. But the idea started as a thought, and that thought was a girl finds a door in a tree trunk. And then I started to think, well, what or who does she find through the door? So I let that kind of brew for a while and let the story come to me a bit. And at that stage, I had the beginning of the story and the end of the story came to me after a while, but I had to work out what was going on in the middle. So yeah, that was it took me a long time to do that, but particularly because it's my first chapter book as well. So it took me a long time to get through that process. But the story did change. So I've had my manuscript assessed several times. And one of the things I found was I had to kill one of my darlings to open up the story for Gertrude and Tristan to be that duo within the book, within the story.
Was that hard?
Yes, to start with it was, but once I did kill my darling, I thought, this story is so much easier to write now. Like, I just needed to get rid of that particular character. It was holding it back.
Wow. And what was the main difference for you, do you think, now writing those longer form books?
Well, now I know that I always write myself into a story. So even the first 3 chapters from the older version I culled them and started at a certain point. So I always know when I write a story, or particularly that first book that I wrote, I always write myself in. And sometimes like the second book that I'm writing now, I'm not sure whether I've written myself into that or not yet. I'll have to see how it progresses and see if there's a better point of entry. But at this time, that's how my writing is processed, I suppose. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you talked a little bit about, critique groups and assessments. So who else helped you make this book come to life?
So as I said, I've had it, the manuscript assessed several times. But in that process, I used that as part of my editing process too. So that was really important tool to use. But also I had 3 local kids be my beta readers, because it's really important to make sure you don't offer something out into the world until it's been reviewed and looked at to make sure it's the best it can be. So I had beta readers look at it, and I've also had it professionally edited and formatted, ready to give birth to my book, so to speak.
Oh, that's amazing. And for you, what was the best part of the process?
I think getting that final edit done. I enjoyed the story, like writing the story. I love writing stories, but you get to a point say, how long is it going to take me to finish writing this story? I think I'm better at it now because it took me so long for the first one, so I'm better at getting the words down a bit quicker. Yeah. But I think just getting that final edit done and thinking, it's nearly finished. So that's very exciting.
So exciting. And is there like a favourite part of the book that you can share with us, or a bit of a teaser?
Yes, so there was chapter 10 in Saving Hollow Woods is probably the most exciting part for me and possibly the readers. So this is when, after Gertrude and Tristan have tried to get through the door, but it wouldn't open for them. So one day they go back into the woods and they actually see the door ajar. So it's a little bit exciting for both the reader and the characters, because this is something new to them, and this is something they're going to find out what lives beyond the door, so to speak. And it also shows the willingness of the characters to go exploring, even though they're a little bit scared too. So I think that's an exciting bit. But also something happens to them as they enter the door. But I can't tell you what that is. You'll have to read the book.
Yes, I have to read the book now. I need to find out what happens. It's so exciting. So if people would like to get a copy of the book, where would be the best place that they could do that?
So I have my own publishing company. So it's called Imprint Publishing. So it's www.imprintpublishing.com.au, and you can order your signed copies of Saving Hollow Woods there. Or you can get it as an ebook as well. There's different links for different reasons of buying. So yes, but if you click on the signed copy, I will contact you and find out who you would like it signed for, ready for Christmas.
That is so exciting. That's amazing. And I'll put that link in the comments as well, so everybody can just really quickly click on that and get the orders in for Christmas. And what would be your best advice for people who are either just starting out or maybe even kids who are thinking that they might like to be an author like you when they grow up?
Well, I think if you're serious about becoming an author, don't treat it as a hobby. Follow your passion and nurture it. So that would be my biggest takeaway for that. But another thing would be is to have an understanding that as a writer, we are always learning our craft. So practice, practice, practice. And thirdly is to read widely, but read the genre that you wish to write in. So you understand how how the stories are told in that genre.
Yeah, that's amazing advice. And one of the things that I love about you is that you are a lifelong learner and you're not scared to try new things, and you're always so gracious about taking feedback. And I can just see how much you're so passionate about your stories, and your characters are real people to you.
Yeah, oh yes, I love my characters.
Yeah. That's amazing. And it's a beautiful, beautiful story, and I think it'll be perfect for Christmas. So is there any last words of wisdom or anything that you wanted to share with us today?
Well, you can find me, if you want to talk to me more a bit about my book, you can find me at Wendy Haynes Author at Facebook and Instagram. And just have a look on my website, and there's a few reviews going around on my book at the moment, so have a look at those. And also on my website there's also some teacher notes for the book.
Excellent.
as well as some fun things for the kids to do too, so make sure you jump on there and have a look.
That is amazing. I will definitely put all of those links up in the comments. Thank you so much, Wendy, for sharing the story behind the story with us today. And are there any more books coming out in the future?
Well, I am writing book 2, which is called The Apprenticeship of the Stones. So that's hopefully coming out in February, but I think I might be a little bit later than that. But yeah, so it'll be a 3-book series.
Oh,
so that's
amazing. Well, maybe we need to catch up again for another book birthday.
Yes, that would be good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And please make sure you jump onto Wendy's website, have a look at her work, contact her if you want to find out more about who she is and what she does, and join us for the next Happy Book Birthday. Bye.
Bye.